In today's video, I'm going to show you how to take your drums from this to this. How's it going, everybody? Good to be back. In this video, we're going to go through how to get a massive sounding drum mix really quick. There's a couple of little mixing tricks that we can go through today. And yeah, I hope it provides you with some kind of insight into how to make like out the box drums sound really massive. And yeah, we can get into it. Today, we're working with a drum library from Get Good Drums. It's the One Kit Wonder from Architects, really nice. And I've literally just opened up the preset here called Arena Filler. Okay. And yeah, like I showed you in the intro, we're going to go through the plugins that I put on the drums. I haven't split them out into multi-channel. This is literally just a quick video to show you how we can get a really nice, massive drum sound quickly out the gate, so you can get into your productions fast and start writing and finishing a lot more music. So the first thing, I'm just going to turn off few plugins here. The first thing that we got going on these drums is the one knob fattener from Waves. So this is what it sounds like without, and I'm gonna turn it on. Off. Okay, so just beefing up the sound there a little bit, nothing crazy, but it's adding a lot of weight to the lower end and the lower mids. So, and this is all about just making little kind of adjustments just to kind of, get us to where we're happy with the mix and just getting these drums to sound a little bit bigger. Next on the chain is a tiny bit, it's actually not that tiny, 17% of OTT. I really love this. Playing around with it a lot on a lot of different kits, and it just seemed to work in this circumstance. So this is without, and now with. Off. On. Just giving it a little bit of a scooped kind of feel, but also really bringing up those overheads and the room mics to give it a lot more kind of sparkle and shine in the top end, and just give it a lot more kind of energy. So there's obviously OTTs, upwards and downwards compression, but doing a lot there, really making a big difference. Next in line here, we've got our old friend Pro Q4. Really love this, and again, a nice little EQ trick that I learned from Pete Zen. Shout out Pete Zen. And what we're doing here is we're just separating the snare fundamental and the kick drum, so that we've got some space and dimension between the low end and where the kick kind of resides. And then we're also just giving a little bit of a bump in the low end at 47 and a little bit of a boost at 1400 here. So I'm going to start with this off. And on. Off. On. This does a lot. I feel like it really helps the separation of the kick, and also just getting rid of a couple of those low midi kind of annoying frequencies. It's just giving it a lot more separation. And the low end just sounds a lot cleaner. Okay, so nothing too crazy going on there, but a nice little technique to just help us get some more clarity out of the drums. Next in line, what do we have here? We've got this is incredible. You can use any Pultec EQ. You don't have to use the UAD one. There's lots of free ones out there. You can use the Waves one. They all sound great. And I'm literally giving about a 1.5 dBs at the low end on 30 hertz, and at 8K I'm also about 1K. So let's do a little A/B comparison on this. This is with it off. Okay, so just doing some overall, EQ shaping, getting a little bit of that kind of Pultec sound, a little bit of that scoop sound, bumping up the bass and the low end, and then giving it a little bit of sheen on the top end, just really broad strokes. That's what the Pultec's for. And then what else have we got here? This is really important when when we get to the master chain, just to make sure that we don't overload our compressors and our limiters on the master. I will go through what's on the master, and it's just to cut the peaks off the drums and make sure that we're not hitting the master bus processors too hard. So this is with its off and on. Okay, so you're not really going to hear a massive difference with the clipping, but it's just a really handy tool to use when, considering what we're going to do when it goes into our final mix bus. And to make sure that we don't overload, our compressors and limiters with too many, transients. So this just really helps us get a lot of headroom so that, our overall mix and master can sound as loud as, and, as full as possible. And then the next thing here, this might seem like a little bit of a crazy idea. I experimented around with it a lot, but it's about what sounds good. And it's the JST gain reduction plugin, and I've literally just got this on a mix of 2%. So it's going to give us that overly massively compressed sound. I'm literally just blending in 2%, but I think it does a lot. And yeah, I think it might sound crazy by putting this on a drum bus. I think it's more for maybe guitars or vocals or things like that, but it really did work, and I think it sounds great. So this is with it off. And on. Off. On. Okay, so just giving it a little bit more of a squash, giving it some saturation, just giving it some drive, and literally just mixing it into taste. So I would recommend put on crazy plugins like this on your drum bus or whatever you want, and just mix it in parallel and see what kind of sound you can get, and see if it does improve. Because I'm always experimenting with weird things like plugins that really shouldn't be on a drum bus or a master or whatever it is, but maybe used in the right way, it can actually yield some really interesting and exciting results. So that's pretty much it. Look, I'm going to do a A/B comparison with everything on and then everything off, and then I'll actually show you guys what it sounds like in the mix. I've recorded some guitars and put in a couple of little choirs and stuff, just to show you what it sounds like in the mix to give us that overall massive drum sound that we're after. Okay. So, but before that, we'll just isolate the drums. I'll turn all the inserts off here, and then we'll turn them all on. So this is all off. That's where we started. Now I'll turn it on. And if you guys notice, it's actually peaking a little bit lower because we're clipping it. So the overall perceived loudness has gotten a lot more massive, and we're not actually driving in any more gain. And that is what all really adds up at the end of the day. Let's play it in this little mix that I've composed here, and I'm going to be turning on the effects on and off so you guys can hear what it sounds like in a mix. Okay, I played the guitars on this. It's really simple little riff, sort of bring me the horizon kind of direction. So yeah, let's start with it off. And now on. So yeah, I think that makes a massive, massive difference, especially in the mix. And again, I mean, we're actually peaking lower than we were with all the plugins on. So I hope that helps you guys. It's just a nice little way that I like to get stuck in quickly to my mixes, so we can, really concentrate on the music part. Yeah, if you guys would like me to dive into the rest of this little idea, how I composed it, what's on the guitars, what's on the bass, so on and so forth, and what I did with the instruments, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, this was a lot of fun, and we'll do some more soon. Cheers, bye.